know, not all romantic comedies are boring and predictable and cliched and unoriginal and not at all funny or enjoyable to watch. Some romantic comedies are very groundbreaking, very beautiful to watch, very realistic, and very intelligent films. And occasionally you get a truly remarkable romantic comedy. And this movie I just watched, The Big Sick, is one of the best romantic comedies I have ever seen, period. Hey everyone, welcome to another review. Here's my review for the movie The Big Sick. The Big Sick stars Kumail Nanjiani, Zoe Kazan, Holly Hunter, and Ray Romano, and this movie is directed by Michael Showalter, a director who previously directed the movie last year, Hello, My Name is Doris. I think that was his first directorial debut, and now he's got The Big Sick. Hello, My Name is Doris was actually a pretty good dramatic comedy. And yeah, this movie is written by Kumail Nanjiani himself and his wife Emily, because it is a true romantic comedy story about how they first met and how he first met her parents. It's still pretty dramatized, but this is a true story about his life and how he met his wife and her parents and stuff, and how she got sick in the hospital. And yeah, that's the story of this movie. It's about a stand-up comedian / Uber driver, and he meets a girl, he has a connection with her, but his family, his Pakistani family, they're very cultural, and they want him to have an arranged marriage to another Pakistani woman. But he doesn't want that, but he doesn't want to disappoint his family, so he still starts dating the girl Emily, played by Zoe Kazan in this film, and yeah, she realizes that they can't be together because she doesn't want to break up his family, but something bad happens. She gets a really bad illness, a really bad infection in her lungs, and she goes into a coma. And that's where he meets the main character, Kumail. He meets her parents, played by Ray Romano and Holly Hunter, and he grows to know them and stuff and become friends with them, and he learns that he needs to respect his culture, but his family also needs to respect his own choices and live an American lifestyle because that's what he wanted and that's what the family wants. And he also wants to be with a girl that he truly loves. He'll try to make a breakthrough with his stand-up comedian act. And yeah, that's the story of The Big Sick. And honestly, I was really looking forward to this movie because I heard at Sundance that this movie was just awesome. And yeah, I was really, really excited to see this movie, and I finally got to see it. Better late than ever, because this movie came to my theaters like days and days ago, but I didn't have enough time to see this movie, but I finally got to watch it. This movie's amazing. This movie was everything that I wanted and then some. I thought this movie would be on the same ground as The F Word, or What If. The American version's called What If, but the proper version, because it's a Canadian film, is called The F Word, with Zoe Kazan and with Daniel Radcliffe and Adam Driver. You know that movie? Yes, that was a really good romantic comedy, and it was really funny. There was issues with the movie, there was predictability with the film, but I still really enjoyed that film. I thought this movie would be sort of on that lines as The F Word, you know, very funny romantic comedy that I'll really enjoy, but I'll still have issues with it like I do with almost every romantic comedy. Occasionally get a really good, groundbreaking romantic comedy like It Happened One Night or When Harry Met Sally and stuff, but yeah, those are few and far between. Crazy Stupid Love as well, but yeah, this movie, I had it on the pedestal of The F Word. This movie surpassed that so much. This movie is so damn good. This is actually probably one of the best romantic comedies I have seen in a very long time. This is like in my top 3 favorite romantic comedies probably of all time. Yes, the Before trilogy has comedy in it, but I don't classify those movies as romantic comedies, mostly dramatic romance films. Like straight romantic comedies, this is right there with Crazy Stupid Love and When Harry Met Sally is one of the great romantic comedies. This movie is so funny, so deep, so moving, so intelligent, so clever, and just so delightful to watch. And I absolutely adored this film. Kumail Nanjiani, who I always know him as Dinesh from Silicon Valley, love that show, and I love him in that show. I always known him from that show, and I always wanted to see what he was like in a movie. I've seen him in like small roles in films, but I've never seen him as a leading role in a film, and he really holds his own. He wrote this movie, and again, he probably didn't have a hard time doing this because he basically had to play himself, and he does a really good job. He wrote a very funny script with his wife Emily, and he wrote very interesting characters and a very interesting story because, again, it happened to them, so that's a very interesting story to write about, and I thought he did a very good job. He was really likable in this movie. He was really compelling. I thought he gave a great performance, and he was just laugh out loud hilarious. He had probably all the funniest jokes in this movie. He is so funny. I freaking loved him in this movie. He is so good. And he has great chemistry with Zoe Kazan. Zoe Kazan is always great in romantic comedies, romance films. Like, she was in It's Complicated, In Your Eyes, and again, The F Word. She's great in those kind of movies, and she was really solid in this movie. She had great chemistry with Kumail, and I really bought them, and I bought their relationship, and I liked their back and forth with each other. It felt very real, and it felt like a genuine relationship. I felt like they genuinely cared about each other. And yeah, it was really good. She gave a very good performance. I loved her parents in this movie, played by Holly Hunter and Ray Romano. It's good seeing Ray Romano in something. I haven't seen Ray Romano in so long. Yes, he was in Vinyl, the show that I've not watched yet, heard good things, but he was great in this movie. I really liked him. He was really funny, and it was good to see Ray Romano tackle a dramatic role, and he was very good. Holly Hunter was almost the show stealer in this movie. She is so funny, and she gives a solid performance in this movie. I also love the family, Kumail's family, the Pakistan family. I don't really know these actors, but they all were hilarious, and they were very enjoyable to watch as well. I even love the side characters, his stand-up comedian friends in this film. They're all really funny and pretty enjoyable as well. I thought all the characters in this movie have sometimes unlikable moments, but all in all, they were all pretty likable and very enjoyable characters to watch, and I had a blast with this movie. And this movie is a very deep subject. It's about an illness, about a girl who almost dies and stuff, and they put a lot of comedy in it, and I really like that. That's what movies like 50-50 did. Like, that movie is about cancer, but they made it a funny movie, and it works so well. Same with this movie. This is about a girl who's in a coma, and she is about to almost die, but they put so much comedy in this movie, and they make it so funny and so enjoyable, but they also don't be disrespectful, and they don't shy away from the dramatic scenes, because there are dramatic scenes in this movie, and when there are dramatic scenes, they are really good, and they are very moving and very touching to watch. And yeah, everything about this movie I loved. I loved everything about The Big Sick. I do agree that this is one of the best romantic comedies I have watched, because it is so good. The writing is so strong. The direction is so good. The performances are so great. The comedy is so funny. But also the romantic scenes are really, really good. They're not hokey. They're not cheesy. They're not unbelievable. I believed the romances. I believed the romance between these two characters. I believed them. I thought it was genuine, and I thought it was realistic, and I loved how this movie played out. It wasn't cliched. It wasn't predictable. I obviously knew the character, she wasn't going to die in the movie because she wrote the film with him, so obviously she's not going to die, but I didn't know where the relationship was going and stuff. I didn't know how his family relationship was going to end and stuff. This movie wasn't predictable, and again, it didn't follow the traditional romantic comedy formula. And plus, this movie's R-rated. It's a pretty raunchy movie, so if you get offended with vulgar language, then I might warn you about that, but this movie is still really good. It has great characters, a great story, it's got a solid screenplay, and it's just delightful. It's about 2 hours long, and it flew by. I was having so much fun with this movie, and it's hands down one of my favorite movies of the entire year. I loved The Big Sick. I don't have a single issue with this movie personally. I think a few people might think this movie drags on a bit. I personally don't think so. I loved these characters so much. I got invested with them, so all these time spent with these characters, with Kumail and the parents, and with Emily and his parents, I enjoyed all that. Even the scenes with all the stand-up comedians, and even the doctors. These characters were just so well written and so fleshed out and so enjoyable to watch. I didn't care that this movie was pretty long. I did not care. If this movie was 3 hours, I would still love it. I loved spending time with these characters, and I loved this story. So yeah, everything about The Big Sick I absolutely adored. It's hands down, again, one of my favorite movies of the year. And yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give the movie The Big Sick a 10 out of 10. Yeah, I didn't think I was going to go that high with this movie. I knew I would love it, but I didn't know I'd love it this much. So yeah, that was my review for the movie The Big Sick. So in the comment section below, please tell me, what is your favorite romantic comedy of all time? Yes, of all time, your favorite romantic comedy. My favorite is probably still When Harry Met Sally because that has nostalgia for me. I've always watched that movie, but yeah, The Crazy Stupid Love and The Big Sick are really close. But yeah, in the comment section below, please tell me what is your favorite romantic comedy movie of all time. Comment below, let me know. And as always, for this video, please like, subscribe to this channel, and join the dot.